الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله النبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, today I'd like to talk about the wajib acts in the salah. After having talked about the fara'id, the obligatory, wajib is compulsory act in the salah. And these are very essential. It should not be left out on a purpose, intensely. If we do that, then our salah will be null and void. However, unintentionally, by mistake, if any of these following acts are left out of our salah, then there is a way to rectify it. And that is called the sajda so, or the sajda of the forgetfulness. That will rectify our salah. Inshallah, there are many to remember, but do not worry too much about it. Inshallah, once you start praying, it will become part of your salah and you will not likely to miss them. The first, I said, when you do the takbir, in the takbir tahrima being the farad, but saying Allahu Akbar is wajib in takbir tahrima. Then in the qiraat, to recite entire Surah Fatiha in every single rak'ah when you're reading on your own is wajib. Surah Fatiha is wajib when you're reading on your own. Of course, if you're reading behind Imam, then Imam's recitation is sufficient for you. To add a surah or a long verse of the Quran or 3 small verses with Surah Fatiha, according to Bahar Sharia, are also wajib, especially in the first two rak'ah of the fard prayers and all 4 rak'ah of the sunnah and the sunnah ghair muqaida, as well as any nawafil prayers and the witr prayers. To add a surah with Surah Fatiha in all rakat of nafil, sunnah and witr namaz, according to Bahar Sharia, is a wajib, and Surah Fatiha must be recited prior to any other surah, as Surah Fatiha is the opening chapter. It is called the opening, so you can't read any surah, one surah first and then Surah Fatiha afterwards. No, the Surah Fatiha or Alhamd Sharif has to be recited first. Then, to recite Surah Fatiha only once is wajib. If you want to read it more, especially in the nafil prayers, those prayers that are recommended by Awliya Ikram, you can do that. And there should be no gap intensely left between the Surah Fatiha and another surah. So if you forgot what to recite and you're thinking too much, as long as it's taken to say Subhanallah, then you have delayed too much. That means it is wajib to do it straight away. That means you missed a wajib. Then sajda so will become obligatory on you to complete your salah. So straight after Surah Fatiha, you must do another surah. However, it is your habit to do it in a tartil, like slowly, verse by verse, word by word, and it's part of your tariqah, then that's no problem. But if you completely forgot or you delayed it intensely, then you'll have to do sajda so. And to do qiraat loudly in Zahri Salah, i.e. in the Salat al-Fajr and Salat al-Maghrib, Salat al-Isha, is also wajib. But if you're reading on your own, it should be as loud as you can hear and the person next to you. And if you are praying in a place where there are other people walking about, then just to let them know that you're reading Salah, it should be loud enough for them to hear and know that you are reading Salah. It doesn't have to be very loud to disturb other people. If you are Imam, then of course you recite a bit louder so the people behind you should be able to hear you. And to read Salah, the qiraat slowly and softly in the Siri prayers, i.e. the Dhuhr and Asr. Again, this is in Fatwa al-Razwiyah that in the Salat al-Dhuhr and Asr, you should not read loudly or audibly that people can hear you saying. It should be as loud enough that you are reading it actually and not thinking about it, but loud for you to hear and nobody else, inshallah. And to recite nothing by Muqtadi while Imam is reciting qira'ah, which may be the Salat al-Dhuhr or Maghrib or Isha, is wajib, that you can't recite anything once you are behind the Imam, apart from your takbirat. Then once you're in the ruku, there are also 3 wajib acts in the ruku. To make ruku immediately after the qira'ah. Again, not delaying, not taking a break. And to stand erect in the qawmah. So you're coming back to the right standing position after saying Sami Allahu liman hamida, and not going straight into sujood. That is wajib. If you do that, the sajda so will become again obligatory upon you. And the third one is to perform only one ruku in each rak'ah. one ruku in each rakah. So sometimes people do this, they only recite the Subhan Rabbi al-Azim once, they got up and they said to finish it again, they go into ruku. That's not allowed. Wajib acts in the sajda. There are 6 acts in each sujood which are wajib, which means if you miss them, you will have to do sajda so. And that to perform the second sajda immediately after the first one, and there should be no delay, and the only delay should be as long as it says subhanallah, but it shouldn't be done deliberately or intensely. Belly of at least 3 toes. Each leg should touch the ground while in sajda. So your toes of your feet should be touching the ground firmly. That is wajib. And to sit straight in the jalsa when you're reading at-tahiyyat or between 2 sujood, it is also wajib to do so. So you can't do sajda like a bird takes the seed from the ground, like quickly. No, you have to do it everything in nice and slow position, but not to delay too much. And to perform only 2 sujood in each rakah, no less, no more, just 2. To perform sajda tilawat, if ayah is sajda has been recited, even within the salah. So if you're reading a salah and you're reading a verses or the surah of the Quran where the sajda of ayah of the sajda is come, then you have to go immediately in the sujood. And if imam is leading you, the imam will go and you have to follow that. That is wajib. And to do sajda so if any errors occur. And it doesn't matter if you make 5 mistakes, wajibs, 4 wajib mistake, 2 sajda so are enough for all of them. So sajda so, if I miss 4 wajibat, I don't have to do 4 times sajda so, 2 will be more than enough. That is what is required. Then wajib acts in the tadil arkan, when you're doing each and arkan, according to the Urdu language, is to understand correct performances of various postures. And the term arkan means the basic essential, i.e. ruku'u, sajda, jalsa and qawma. It is very, very important that we must direct our body straight and do not become lazy and do half of the act that is required in the Sharia, in each and every act of the Salah. So that is very wajib as well. So ruku, properly 90 degree, then come back in the qawma after ruku, in sujood, all your 7 bones of the body touching the ground firmly. That's 2 feet, 2 hands, 2 knees, and the bone of your nose and the forehead. That is 1. Then not to do qaida prior to the rakah, i.e. the qaida should not be done after first rakah, and one should not return back immediately to qiyam position for the second rakah. So if you made a mistake or you're doing something, this is a complicated one. Inshallah, later on I'll talk about it, where it applies to the late comers, those people who join late in the salah. And to recite the tashahhud at-tahiyyatu lillah entirely without missing any word in both qaida ula as well as qaida akhira is wajib. And to recite nothing after tashahhud in the qaida ula, in the fard, witr and sunnat muqaddada. So in the sunnat muqaddada, 4 rakat before salat al-dhuhr, 2 rakat after salat al-fajr, before fajr, and 2 rakat after salat al-maghrib, 2 rakat after salat al-isha. In these, we must only read in a second rakat up to abduhu wa rasuluhu. If you're reading sunnat again muqaddada, such as 4 rakat before salat al-asr and salat al-isha, then you will read the full up to the dua as well, Rabbi Jalali Mukim Salat inshallah. And then the wajib acts in the witr prayers is to, of course, do takbir after, in the 3rd rakah, after reading Surah Fatiha, another surah, before going to ruku, raising your hands to the ear, folding your hand back, and then reading the dua kunut in witr prayer. It is a wajib and should not be left out purposely or intensely. If you do that, your namaz will be invalid, void, and you'll have to repeat it. However, if it happens by mistake, then you can do sajda so, and inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept your prayers. These are the wajibat we must remember. And finally, when you are sitting down in your last rak'ah in the jalsa position, in the qaida akhira, to say as-salam. As-salam is wajib. To say assalamu alaikum is not wajib, but it is sunnah to say. But just to say as-salam is wajib. And to say alaykum in addition to assalam is not wajib according to the fatwa razawiyah. Inshallah, if you follow these guidance from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they're given us in our salah, we'll attain the khuzu and khusu, the peace and tranquility in our salah, and we will enjoy our salah more, and we will be accepted more in the bargah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give me and all of us inshallah tawfiq to follow these guidance of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa akhiru wa alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.